What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. Ammo Test Series number 5 for 357 SIG. The one, the only, the world famous Gold Dot. I mean, this is the #1 choice in law enforcement. And trust me, it really is a good ammunition. I'm not just playing around. It is cool. A lot of people like it. I like it. I've used it in a ton of different reloading applications. It's really just a good performer all around usually. I've never tried it in 357 SIG, and I'm pretty excited to see what it does because I actually have it loaded up. When I say I've never tried it in gel. I have definitely shot it plenty of times. So this is a 125 grain Gold Dot hollow point. Usually you see 124 grain. Not very often do you see 125 grain. You do in 357. But not for 9mm type of stuff, but it's a different type of bullet to be able to made for the 357 SIG, just so I believe that they can get a good neck tension on that thing. And maybe also it's a little bit different to handle the velocities. Speaking of which, there are no velocities listed on the box, so we're just gonna have to figure it out. But that's okay, because we have the technology. We're going to be using 2 different firearms today. The first one will be the Sig Nightmare 1911, that's a 5-inch. And then we have the M&P 357 SIG 1.0, that's a 4.25-inch barrel. They're both iron-sighted, but at least we put polymer versus steel. They both do have 3-dot white sights, and we'll be sending 5 rounds through each one of these firearms into these B8 targets from 20 feet away, 15 feet off the chronograph. We're going to get an average of velocity, therefore work out the average of foot-pounds, and we're going to see how accurate these rounds are. And accuracy will be tested offhand, no bench, table, rest, or anything like that. This is defensive ammo. These are defensive guns. We're going to test practical accuracy. We're going to move the chronograph to right in front of the gel so that hopefully we capture the velocity of the bullet as it goes into the gel. As far as gel, we have 10% clear ballistics, 2 20-inch blocks for a total of 40 inches. Testing explained, let's get to shooting. All right, first up, Polymer Wonder, M&P 357 SIG 1.0. We are 15 feet off the chronograph, 20 feet off the target. We're going to be shooting at the left B8. Let's see how this goes with our 3-dot white night sights. That is very loud. It's not very snappy in the hand or anything like that. I hate that word snappy, but not bad in the hand, but definitely very loud. 1391. And both of those are, one of those is on the X, one of those is on the X circle, 1381. And again on the X circle, almost a hole in hole at 1365. That stuff is moving along. This is not a joke of a cartridge. So it's down a little bit on that one under the X ring at 1374. And again, we just did a little bit of a string down there. You'll see it at 1376. Let's take a look. All right, I got 2 actually in the X circle, a couple on there, but I did a really weird vertical string right here. I don't know what that means. Could be me, could be the ammunition, but definitely totally acceptable. I mean, that's the size of a thumb basically. Let's move on to the 1911. All right, 1911 time. Let's see how we do with this. I love this gun. It shoots really nice and smooth, but I don't know, sometimes that light actually gets on the back of these night sights, or anytime I do white sights, the sun is like right behind here, so sometimes it screws with me. Let's see how we do today. Remember that this has a light trigger. I'm telling myself that, not you. All right on the X. And the reason I tell myself it has a light trigger, because coming off of that M&P, we have 2 totally different worlds here. That was 1469. That was a hole in hole basically at 1479. That was almost a hole in hole. They're all in the X circle right now at 1483. Man, they're all right there in the same little group. 1463. Right there, that is one fantastic group. 1451, let's go take a look. Sig Sauer 1911 5-inch Nightmare. I love that. So that's a really awesome group. That's how you're supposed to want things to go every time. They don't always go like that, but both of these groups are very good. We are dealing with a polymer striker fire wonder here. We're dealing with a very nicely put together 1911, but definitely accuracy is there with that. Good job, Gold Dot. All right, Smith & Wesson 357 Magnum. Let's get one in the gel and let's see what kind of damage we can do. Good hit, but we had an error on the chronograph. That's okay, we have the previous information. Let's go take a look. Error on the chronograph, and I'm assuming we got just a little bit too low. You can see the bullet is a hair low. Sometimes in this exact light angle, it won't pick that up. But from the side, we have the typical Gold Dot or jacketed hollow point for that part, or for the most part, type of an entrance wound right there. It goes till about the 8-inch mark before it settles down. It is a decent wound channel. It's not the biggest, it's not the greatest, it's not the craziest. The wound channel goes down there with the piercing part until about 14 inches. Then it has a little bit of a bubble around the bullet. The bullet is opened up facing us. It does bounce back from, I would say, you got to get the right angle on the camera. Sometimes people don't believe me, but what my eyes tell me are 15 3/4 inches, bounce back, settling at 14 inches, pretty much dead center in the middle of 14 inches. Let's take a look from the top real quick. All right, not much different from the top. Your typical expansion at the beginning, settles down a little bit, does some piercing, has a bounce back. It's definitely opened up like Gold Dots do. See if I can get an angle on that for you, but it's definitely got its little petals peeled back. I'm sure it's gonna look beautiful when it comes out of there. Let's go ahead and shoot the 1911. All right, one round with the 1911, 5-inch barrel. Let's see if, like I always say, we can do some 1911 magic. Sometimes, I don't know if it's the barrel or if it's just the 1911 that's magical, but it usually kicks things up a notch in gel. Let's see if it happens with this one. That felt pretty nice, looked pretty nice. We got 1467. Let's watch this again, but this time I want you to focus on the tape. It did a little funny way of going back to where it started, static electricity or something. Just thought it was cool. 1467, and that would be the top rightmost wound channel. And right off the bat, yes, I do see some 1911 magic in there. That is a bigger wound channel in my opinion. You can start to see the spiral effect in there. The major part of that wound channel definitely goes to, man, you can see it at 9, but then it still continues a little bit farther till about 11. So the bullet lands almost at the exact same place. It came up just a little bit shorter. The bullet really is pretty much at 14 inches with apparently no bounce back. Not sure if that's true or not. Opened up facing towards us. It has the same ending almost, but definitely a different beginning. So let's take a look from the top. I'm telling you, 1911 magic. I know it's a little bit closer, but trust me, it's a little bit bigger. I've cut enough of these things open to tell you that's going to be a bigger wound channel in general when we take it all apart. But they both do land at the same place, almost tiny bit more penetration out of the M&P, but that's typical. I'm sure we're going to see that the 1911 opened that thing up a lot more. Very cool. Let's get them dug out. I would not want to get hit with this. This is no joke. All right, here we go with the M&P shield out of that 4 1/4 inch barrel, and here we go with the 1911. You can definitely see it smush back a little bit more with the 1911. They both have their little gold dots in the middle of them. Pretty cool. Let's turn them over to the side. All right, on their side, you can see that they did their curl. I love the Gold Dot curl. This one did the Gold Dot curl a little bit more. It definitely pushed those petals back further. And from the back, you can see that this is definitely tucked in more and pushed back more. This one's not so, you can tell it didn't have such a violent ride, but like I said, they both ended up at just about the same place. Pretty cool, but this one definitely created more chaos on the way in. I mean, that's a pretty darn good ammunition. You saw what it did in the gel, whether it's permanent or temporary. You see that it's super accurate, very shootable, It's a hopped up 9mm. Yes, that's what it is, but that's exactly what it is. For anybody that likes 9mm, they should definitely like 357 Sig. And the Gold Dot, again, never really fails. It always delivers. We put the information together for you so that you can use it. Let me know what you think about Gold Dot, maybe these two guns, 357 Sig in general. I don't always get to answer them all, but I love to read your comments, and trust me, we do see them. Hope you liked this test. If you found it helpful, maybe give it a thumbs up and share it around. If you're not subscribed to The Turkey's Opinion, you're probably missing out on something you want to see. If you are subscribed, make sure that your notification bell is turned on so that you don't miss anything you want to see. And if you really think we're doing a good job at The Turkey's Opinion, we are on Patreon, and we do have the YouTube join button turned on so you can become a member of the channel. Thank you to people that are at both of those places. Thanks everybody for watching this video, and until we see you at the next one, stay safe, have fun, and keep shooting.